And a warm good evening to all of you Steam machines. This is Enrico from Conductive Music. Welcome you to yet another brand new episode of Steam Corner. This is episode 8. So, well, first of all, Happy New Year to everybody. This is the first live stream of 2021. And we are going to start with a fabulous activity that we pitched for years 7 8, but as always, remember that when we give you a age indication, this is just it, it's a suggestion. But if you want to try it, why not? Obviously, if you're much younger or much older than what we suggest, you might find it a bit challenging or a little bit too easy. But I think in all of these platforms, there's always something very, very useful to learn. I do apologize for some background noise. As always, we've got some works going on very next to the office, but I hope we'll enjoy a little bit of extra music. So, the main character of today is this little guy here. Let me just grab one. I'm sure some of you have already seen it. Here you go. It's the microbit. Now, the microbit is a little fella, is very powerful, and really full of surprises. In this little card alone, there are, well, let's start from simple, 2 buttons. That's quite simple, isn't it? There's a third one, which is the reset one. Don't touch that one. And there's some LEDs. So you see there are some little bumps here, gray things. Obviously, you've got some crocodile clips connected here for headphones connection, by the way. So they can make music, absolutely. The microbit can make a lot of music. More about that later on. And what you do not see immediately is a huge, useful, and creative array of sensors. Now, what are sensors? As humans, we've got quite a lot of sensors ourselves. We got the ears, we got the eyes, we got the taste, we got the all of our skin can perceive touch, of course, and many others like equilibrium, balance. Well, the microbit has got quite a few of these. Let's start from the light. It does measure the light. How? This is quite curious, actually. I don't know if you did know, but as a speaker can be a microphone, and a microphone can be a speaker. Well, a light can also be reversed to become a light measurer. In other words, a light sensor. Do you know of the Nintendo Wii, the one that you wave your arms in the air and then something happens in the game? Well, that technology includes gyroscopes, but the easier word is accelerometer. The accelerometer measures movement in 3 dimensions. So the computer, or in this case the microbit, knows if it's going left or right or up and down. How do you ask? Well, inside the microbit there is a tiny chamber made of metal. And inside it there is a little marble. When the marble hit the wall, the microbit knows that it's been moved one way or the other. The force with which the marble hits the wall determines how far it's been moving or how violently. So it measures in 3 dimensions, as we said, okay? What else? Well, there is a magnetometer. That's a very complicated word. What is that? Metal detector. It's pretty cool. You can put a coin next to it and you can make it beep. Not bad, not bad. And it can talk to another microbit via radio frequencies. So that is quite interesting. One of the experiments that we did was to set up one light sensor microbit in a place, in particular in our cupboard, and then another microbit in the fridge, and they both were talking to a master microbit somewhere else. So when somebody opened the cupboard, imagine a cupboard is closed, it's dark, no? When you open it, the light goes in, and then there's a diet alarm. You can check it on our YouTube. There's a microbit diet alarm video. I hope you'll enjoy that. And I hope I haven't forgotten anything else of these beautiful features, but if I did, I will definitely fill you in on that. For today, because of course we are Conductive Music, I wanted to show you the very beginning of the musical interactions with the microbit. Now, first of all, you can always rely on the Make Code coding platform. That one is free. It's just a website. It's always ready for you to use. I suggest using Google Chrome if you can, because it's the most reliable one. But if you would like to jump onto Safari, Firefox, or Edge, please make sure they're up to date. But if you do, they should all be working fine. There is one key feature that Chrome has and nothing else has, which is the pairing. I will show you that one as well. And to jump onto the make code, let me put the headphones on and let's start this adventure. By the way, you can follow along with me by going to makecode.com. All right, so here we've got our website. So don't forget Conductive Music. You can always find lots of valuable tutorials. These are for free and you can always see them. These are the 61-hour projects, yeah? And then if you are into the video game, don't forget that you can also find some free tutorials on that. Anyways, today we're talking about Make Code. So it shortens as Microsoft.com with a little bit of an extension. However, you can jump onto makecode.com. As you can see, I just typed it in and then just wait a few seconds. That's it. These we talked about quite a bit. The wearables, the Minecraft, the video game, this robot and the Lego and the Chibi chip for the PCB board. But we have yet to delve into the microbit properly. So just one or a couple of clicks away really from your first project. There are a few tutorials here which are quite decent, I have to say. I can't say anything bad actually. They're quite fun to do. Obviously, most of them don't have the musical applications, but that's where we come in. So thank you for joining us once again. To create your first project, you obviously go to project and give it a test. So I'm gonna just call it very plainly. It is the Conductive Virtuoso. And in just a few moments, you get in. If you've done any of our musical video game courses, you probably recognize the interface. Here's where the code lives. Here's where the menu is with the extensions, with each sub value on here. On all in all is block-based coding. And obviously, we've got our emulator that can be full screen, stopped, slowed down, refreshed, as always, the same deal. The great thing is that you can test most of the experiments on the on the browser itself before purchasing the board or using it. The reason why we stress the importance of the microbit is because about 5 years ago, the BBC gave all of the secondary schools across the UK a set of microbits. There's usually quite a few actually, 50 or 100, and unfortunately, in some occasions, these have not been used to the full potential, so they've just been put at the bottom of a cupboard. So please, before you go ahead and buy it, dear teachers, do check the bottom of all the cupboards because they are there and they are fabulous. Let me prove it to you. So first of all, let's jump onto the code. I'm going to show you first how it works on the machine here, on the browser, and then show you how you can download it and put it on the next, on the board itself, sorry. So here we go, we've got our start, which is the series of instructions that gets executed only once at the beginning of the booting sequence, and the forever, which is something that instead gets repeated, okay? This will become clear, obviously, if you take one of our courses or just give yourself some time. It's not necessary to understand everything immediately. With coding comes great responsibility, and obviously, step by step, all the other steps will become clearer. So let's delve immediately into the sound, because that's what I want to focus on today. There's much more, but today we focus on the sound. So I'm going to jump into music, and I'm going to use the most simple of them all, this play tone here. It's just playing one tone, nothing else. Okay, so if I were to stick it inside the forever, this is going to do a wonderful noise. Let's try it. That's it. As you can see, it's only one note is repeated forever. What if I want to do a simple melody? No problem, right click and duplicate. right click and duplicate. If you're working on a platform, on a tablet, you can just put your finger on top of it for about a second and a half, and then you're ready to go. You'll see the same exact menu. I can do another note and be very boring with CDE and see what happens. Obviously, I might need to press play. Okay, so we were able to make some noise, some horrible noise. Now let's see if we can create some music. First interaction I'd like to show you is very simple, is with the buttons. So obviously the micro:bit has got two buttons, the A, the B, okay, you can see them here, A and B, and they can also be pressed together. So let me show you how you can do a very quick, very simple instrument in your classroom or in your home, because depending if you guys are students or teachers. So I'm gonna make a copy here. I'm going to use button A, button B, and button A plus B. And very simply here, I can put three different notes. So I've got my, I can do an E, I can do a D, and back to a usual C. Okay, so let's see if you can recognize this masterpiece. Ding, ding. That's it. Okay, so I hope that made a little bit of sense. So in order to download this into a micro:bit, you have two different ways. Well, first of all, you're gonna have to plug in the micro:bit, that's for sure, okay? And secondly, you can either download a file, and it will be on your download folder, of course, and then drag and drop it as if you were copying it to a very simple hard drive. Or you can do, if you're on Chrome, you can do something much more useful. So here you go. You click on the gear icon up there on the top right, and then go to pair device. This one is telling the computer, look, there is a micro:bit attached to here. Can you directly transfer the files? Okay, perfect. You pair the file, you select which one you've got, because of course you can plug in multiple ones, and then hit connect. Once it does that, your micro:bit will flicker a little bit. But as it does, I'm just wanting to show you what this code does. So when you press A and B together, both buttons, the note E is played. In this case, because on the computer, I cannot touch two buttons at the same time. I've got the mouse is one. So the developers have created this A plus B button, so it triggers both. Then you go down to B, and that's the middle D. And then you go down to A, and that's an A. Now, I've managed to pair the micro:bit. I'm gonna hit this big download button, and I'll try to show you the light flickering. There you go. And let me just jump back into full view. Okay, see if I've got enough cable. Okay, so I have attached a speaker to the micro:bit. This is not necessary all the time, by the way, because by connecting a crocodile clip to 0 and ground, you can then connect the crocodile clips to the headphones. And we do have one of the 1 hour projects dedicated to this. However, there is this Pimoroni, this one here, if you can see, perfect speaker. That is a fabulous extension to the micro:bit. As soon as you plug it in, here you go. I've got the two buttons, right? And here's the song. Oh, sorry. Bing, bling. I'm missing the G. Okay, so I hope it made a little bit of sense. If you want to reproduce this one, obviously jump into our 1 hour projects, and it'll show you how to create step by step, assembly the parts, connect the headphones or the speaker, depending on which one you want to try. At the beginning of this lesson, I mentioned that there were quite a few sensors. So let's see how the accelerometer works. By the way, I'm gonna jump into my yellow meow bit, so to show that this is a little bit more advanced part of the code. So we had these three interactions. Okay, unfortunately, I need to get rid of them now because I would like to use the movement of the microbit left and right, up and down, to create some music. And this is what the accelerometer does. The accelerometer is the sensors that measures acceleration. Okay, so from left to right, up and down, in 3 dimensions. We can tilt forward, tilt backwards. So let's take a look. I go back into my input, and instead of using the button, I'm gonna use the shake. It seems quite innocuous, but if you use the drop-down menu, there's quite a few. So I can put, let's use 4 easy dimensions: left, right, up, and down. Okay, so up and down, left and right. So I'm just gonna make 4 copies of these real quick. So left is here, right is here, up is on this side. And oh, thank you for the likes, guys. I've just seen it, sorry. Up and down. All right, hope you're enjoying this. And I want to show you a few more options that we can do with the music. So for example, let's say that I've got a little chord. I want to show you 3 different ways of making chords. I'm gonna use, actually, sorry, not chords, arpeggios. It cannot do polyphony. It can only play 1 note at the same time, at least with this code. So I'm gonna grab music, I'm gonna get a play tone, and this is gonna be, just in case you study music, it's just gonna be a C minor arpeggio. C, E flat, and G. I will give it a quick test later on, because unfortunately, this doesn't work very well on the emulator. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. As you see, I can shake it, but not always gets triggered properly. But I'll show you with the real microbit in just a minute. So let's say that I want this to play twice. Okay, right, I could do it the silly way, which is by copying this, and all in all, it's just gonna play me 6 notes, right? Okay, but that would be a bit silly. Let's see if I can do something different. I'm gonna grab my 3 notes, 1, 2, and 3, and this one is gonna be instead a F minor in second inversion, so it's gonna be C, F, and A flat. Okay, and I want this to repeat twice, right? So I can loop it. Luckily, the word loop in coding and the word loop in music are pretty much the same function. So I can repeat it. I don't want to repeat it 4 times, I just want to repeat it twice to match here, okay? But this is not the only way. There's a few more. So for the logo down, I'm going to use the play melody. So let's take a look at this. This is a reasonably recent introduction, just a few months ago. If you have never seen this before, don't worry. It's just called a step sequencer. It's an 8-step sequencer. You got the tempo down here, a preview, play, and the steps are ordered. So this is the first step, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh, and eighth. So pretty much 2 bars of music, depending on how you are thinking on the time. The downside, let's start from the negatives, is that you can only use the white keys of the piano. It's a diatonic scale based on C major. The upside is that you can mess about and grab a lot of pre-made things, like here, make it go very fast real quick, and also you do have your diatonic scale, so you get your C major scale, which is not bad. I think the chord that would best fit this is a D minor scale, so is a D minor chord. So look, if this is a C, this is gonna be a D. Then I'm gonna leave it a space, a rest. This is E, F, a rest, and then A, F, G, A, yes. There's a problem here, because here I had a rhythm of 3. This is gonna be a rhythm of 4, but it's gonna be all right, I think. We're not too picky. If I wanna repeat it, obviously I can put a repeat block in here, which is absolutely fine. Or I can just add more melodies one after the other. Now, for the music here, we've got ringtone. The ringtone is something that produces a constant melody, a constant frequency or a constant sound. And the important thing to say here is that many sensors can be connected to this, so we can create the theremin. But that's gonna happen in another episode. If you'd like to see the instructions, please head over to our free 60 1-hour projects, and we've got one of those there as well. You can obviously change the volume and create some dynamics. You can use some pre-made things, and I'm just for the sake of it, I'm just gonna use one. Let me just find the melody block. Where is it gone? Sorry, they changed the space. Okay, this one is here. Okay, so let's take a look. I'm just going to download the code as we speak. So when I tilt left, I'm expecting 6 notes on a C minor arpeggio. When I tilt right, I expect a F minor. If you don't know what these notes are, don't worry. You'll hear a different melody. When I go down instead, when I tilt down, I'm expecting a melody to be played through. And instead, when I tilt up, I'm expecting something that was made by the developers. So let's see how this microbit responds to us. Here it is. The code has just been downloaded. So I'm gonna go left first. And he played it twice. I'm gonna go right now. I'm gonna go down. And then I'm gonna go up. Okay, I hope that came through a little bit clear, hopefully at least. So once again, the very basic functionality of the microbit allow you to create some sounds pretty much immediately. So you can activate it with the buttons, you can activate it with the accelerometer, you can activate it with many other lights, other type of movements. And even with the new one, if you got the new one, it's got a microphone built in, so even with the sound. So you can have the sound respond to a sound or the lights respond to a sound. What I like to do now in the last few minutes that we've got together is to create a fake theremin. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to transform the readings from the light sensor into a sound. And then by moving the microbit towards the lights that I've got in the studio, I'll show you how the frequency changes. So let's jump back into the code. This is the red zone, but I hope you'll bear with me for this. And as always, we have the 1-hour projects dedicated to this, and we're also about to publish a brand new course. So first things first, we want to take readings from the light sensor. So again, I'm going fast, I'm aware, but this is a video, so you can always rewind and maybe go half speed and press pause if you need more help to create your experiment. So on advanced, I can go to serial. Serial is a way to talk in real time with the machine. I'm gonna get the serial write line and I ask it to write this message down forever. It's as if you were out with a friend, maybe checking cars or something, and you ask them, write down the color of this one, write down the plate number of this one, write down something else. And this is exactly what the computer is doing, is writing down. But what do we need to write down? Well, we want to write down the light. At least the light in this room right now. So here's what I can do. I go to input and scroll down until I find light level, put it inside, and it will start. If I download the code, I promise you the microbit is just here on my desk at the moment. Here you go. And let it stabilize a little bit. So you see that number I'm looking here at the bottom. It says about 80 or something like that. Okay, I am going to take my light, here you go, I'm not joking, this is my light, and push it on top of the microbit. Let's see what happens. Ooh, almost maximum, 226, 7, and 8. And here we go again. You see me, I'm holding the light, and now I'm going back towards the microbit. And it's measuring up, okay? Does it make sense? So this is a way to measure the light. Okay, fair enough. But you haven't heard any sound, right? Let's make this happen. So first things first, when you deal with when you deal with sensors, I think the most important part is to discuss how big and how small are these numbers going to be. So there's only one way to find out. Well, two. Either you know it already, or you right-click on the block and then go for the fabulous and super mega duper important help block, which of course is a bit shy tonight and is not showing up yet. There we go. So if you scroll down, there's a lot of complicated, crazy things, but what you need to worry about is only this. The numbers, the minimum and the maximum. It says it's 0 when it's dark and it's 255 when it's bright. Now, when we're talking about music, every note is a frequency, isn't it? So 0 is not going to be any sound. 5, it's going to be a sound, but it's going to be super, super low, isn't it? Now, when you go to a piano and you hit the middle C, that's about 216 hertz, I think. And then if you go a little bit further up to the A, what is called a concert A, if you guys are in an orchestra, probably have seen the oboe playing the note at the beginning when you're all tuning. In that case, that would be a 440. So what am I doing now? I've got a range that goes from 0 to 250. And I want to basically move it up. What's the best way to move it up? Add a number. Okay, so for the play, what I need to do is I can get rid of this because I now know what's happening. And, let's do both. Let's see if both frequencies can work at the same time. I'm going to get my ring tone, as we discussed earlier. And instead of let me mute it first before it goes a little bit mad. Instead of making it ring the middle C, I'm going to ask it to ring the light level. So let's see what happens if I download this to my microbit. It's down here. It's a horrible sound, isn't it? Let me show you. This is quite cool. By the way, the sound is changing because the light is right in front of the camera. So as it goes nearer, you hear this. It's too much of a sufferance though, this sound. It's not exactly what we're looking for. So let's make it sound a little bit nicer. Okay, so remember that we said that we had the range 0 to 255, and then we needed to push it up a little bit more. Well then, this is how we do this, guys. This is how we do it. We just go to math. And from math, you get a plus. And then you add a number here. So I'm just gonna say, I want it to sit between 200 and 400. So I'm gonna add about 200, okay? And let's see. Upload again. This is gonna be a much higher frequency. Ready? It's coming. Obviously, we're a little bit on the dark side in this room. Sorry, let me just mute the microbit. So it's obviously a bit low frequencies, but you can create it to make completely different things. For example, let's say that you wanted to make it choose only between specific notes, because at the moment it's just randomly going up and down, and it's not as pleasant as it could be. So what you need to do, and I can show you in the next tutorial, is create an array. An array is a list. Think of it as a shopping list. So you go to the shopping and you've got milk, bread, cheese, and whatnot. And then milk is in position 0, bread is in position 1, cheese is in position 2, and instead of having milk, bread, and cheese, you put C, D, E, or D, F, A flat, or whichever other notes you would like to use. Once you put them there, you can ask the light sensor number to be restricted to the positions of the array. So what does this mean? If I've got a sensor that oscillates between 0 and 250, I can just say, look, I only want 5 nodes. So what the computer is going to do is take that range, slice it in chunks of 50. So 250 divided by 50 is 5. And if you've got 0 to 49, you're gonna get the first note, 50 to 99, the second note, 100, and so forth. If you want to add more nodes, you can divide that range by 6, by 8, by 10, by however many you like. There is not a limit. Well, actually, yes, you do have the limit of 256 nodes, but at that stage, you wouldn't want to do this system because you already have it. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this little experiment on how to put a microbit to good use in musical terms. There is much, much more. I wasn't joking when I said that we're using this in primary schools, but also all the way up to university. We can create quite a lot of interactive projects with radio communications, with images, with multiple external LEDs. You can pretty much control a Christmas tree full of lights through a microbit just by deciding that every time I color my hand, I want the color to be randomized and come out completely different. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. This was Enrico from Conductive Music, closing on STEAM Corner episode 8. We are preparing lots and lots and lots of new content for you, so please be on the lookout because new courses are coming out in just a couple of weeks from now, and we hope you'll enjoy it. As always, thanks again for staying with us. Stay safe, have a wonderful evening, and see you online or in your school very soon. Bye bye, guys.